up, YouTube? Back at it again. Somebody on my ass too close. But we gonna make the best of it. Like, share, subscribe, support the stream if you feel so inclined. If you cannot see me, understand that the shadow knows. I am a watcher in the dark. So just leaving the nanas, and I don't say that to give you echolocation on where I am, just so you understand my mind state. When I talk about it, I just heard a beautiful story from my grandmother. Not that she was just telling me a story, she's telling me her life. I told you she lost her husband about 2 years ago during the pandemic, right? Hux. But what I heard today, I had never known until this day today, till this night. And I don't think I would have got it if I had not come to her house tonight. I don't think I would have gotten that story. And what I got was something that was beautiful. What up, no one? Which was how and when Hux met my nana and fell in love with her. In the 45 years they spent together, different places in the world, traveling to different places with music, buying the house that she has now, and living exactly where they wanted to. And even though they was both black, they were from different cultures. One being from Jamaica with a Chinese sponsored family that helped him get his education, and one being raised in Arizona by the first pioneer family there, not in slavery, not in antebellum slavery. This is one of the things that makes me upset about the black community, is because we don't talk to each other. We don't have enough information on our histories, that a lot of it gets lost. And it more so gets lost because we throw away our elders in this culture. We throw away our elders. We don't want to listen to shit they have to say. We don't give a fuck about their stories. We just think they in the way and they need to drop dead and die all the time. And to me, it's kind of a sickness, because it's nowhere else on the globe that I know of that really treats their elders like that. We want to marginalize them and leave them somewhere like fucking old luggage or something. A plant that you don't like. Leave it in the dark and let it wither and die. That is not cool. But to be on a positive note, this may mean nothing to you unless you know the Bay Area. What up, D Remedy? But in 1975, 2 years after I was born, my grandmother met the man that I would know as her husband her whole life. This is the man who gave me, or got me, my first paying job. This is the man who believed in me when I wanted to be a rapper. Me and my brother, and he would help us record music and stuff like that. Told me about my voice and what was different about my voice coming across on the recording. This was the man that made me laugh so much, because he would talk his patois and drink his his rum. There was also the man that played the bass guitar in one of the seminal, come out the way, reggae groups from the rocksteady era of reggae. The man that picked out the guitar for my daughter. He's the one who picked out the guitar for my daughter, who taught herself how to play the guitar. He helped my brother. He helped my uncle, my youngest uncle. He would make Jamaican patties and a curry goat on Christmas. All this good shit. He was just a real good dude. Real good dude. You'd never know he was famous. And it never actually mattered. He didn't care about that shit like that. He didn't care about it like that. He didn't carry it like that. He wasn't no arrogant prick about it. He didn't even mention the shit. It was like being a soldier. Like, yeah, I went to war, but I don't talk about it. My grandmother told me, just us having a conversation, spending some time with her and talking, she told me about the first time they met. She told me about the first time they met in Berkeley on the White Way in San Pablo at a little hole in the wall show with a bunch of hippies around. She called them stinky people. He's up on stage with his red bass guitar and was watching her from the stage the whole time. As soon as they finished that movie, he bounced off that goddamn stage to go get out. No toxic masculinity, none of this shit. And actually talked to her, pursued her, and brought her to every show he was doing after that month. And within 5 days' time, he had her ass in Jamaica meeting his father and stuff because he knew this was the woman he wanted. That was a beautiful story. And hearing that story from my grandmother, it comes with a little pain because you know she's missing, you know, her better half, her friend, you know, her companion. And it hurts because she misses. Understand, my grandmother is a strong, stubborn ass woman, dude. I swear to God, you just do not know. You do not know. But to hear her, because I've had these moments with her where I've seen that tough exterior break all the way down, and seeing her cry, and hear the pain in her voice. She loved that damn man. She loved that damn man. She misses him. She grieves the loss of him, the erasure of him from her life. What up, BMT? And vicariously listening to her, I miss him more too. But as much as I think I knew him, I didn't know nothing. Don't know shit about it. And why? Nobody told these fucking stories while he was here. I had to tell my nana how I didn't even know this man was actually famous. Like verifiable, you can look him up. I didn't know he was famous till I was in my teens. And my mother kind of casually mentioned it. I'm like, what? Really? Him? Did not know. Motherfucker's a legend. And the most unassuming fucking legend you would ever meet. I can hear his fucking voice in my head right now thinking about that shit. And I feel sad for my grandmother that he went so much sooner than her. Because now she's there alone without him. And after 45 years, you kind of become a team, right? You do your part, they do theirs. Having to start over again in your fucking 70s is not the move. I did not know that house that she has, he bought her. Didn't know that. Now I remember when she moved from her apartments that they had, like it's over where Kaiser and Oakland is, near Pill Hill, right? You know the area, you know what I'm talking about. To moving into this house in Oakland. But I'm a kid, I don't know all the ins and outs of how that shit works. I didn't know until today. Did not know until today. It was him. He was still on tour. Bought her a whole fucking house. And we have had the bulk of my family holiday memories at. With my cousins, with my uncle, with my family, extended family, the Jamaicans. I think about as much as I thought I knew, I know nothing. And it's a shame because stuff like that should have been talked about a long time ago. It fed right into what I was talking about on the stream when I was going. You'll never know what, yeah, it's Big Mama's house, but who tells the story of Papa, right? Who tells his story? Let you know who he was, what he was about. If he has brothers and sisters and children or anything like that, what he did like, what he was good at, who tells? I can say this. sorry he had to go that one. Really, yeah. And from what my Nana is telling me, he died after stating he wanted to go back home. He wanted to move back to Jamaica. Him and his wife finally wanted to go home. It's weird. The more interesting part of the story of how my grandmother met Hunt is that how it parallels with how my father met my mother, also in the 70s. He saw her, and that was what he wanted. And he went after her. Him going after it and spending some time talking to her because this is the 70s, probably the late 60s at that. Eventually got them meeting. In my own way, I can remember meeting my son's mother, my daughter's mother, being so sure that nope, that's the one. Weird. He split off bullshit. I see my girl, my nana, and her husband have a whole fight, arguing, cussing and shit at each other. A whole fight. Family involved in everything. They stayed together. And I don't think that it was because they were codependent or dysfunctional. They had a damn dispute. And that argument didn't lead to us talking about, oh, they get divorced, they split up. I got to hear the funniest line I've ever heard, which is that when my nana met this man and he wanted to ride back to his hotel, and he hopped in her little Volkswagen. She had to tell him that she ain't had no more weed. 7. And what he told her back, as a Jamaican, going on the island, he didn't smoke weed. And I had a good laugh on that, making a joke with my nana about how strange that had to be. She said she asked me, what kind of Jamaican are you? My joke was, I said, damn, do they let you off the island like that? Do you get to leave the island and not smoke no weed? You defective or something, right? Found the only Jamaican on the island that don't smoke weed. at that shit. Like, wow, awesome. I got to hear how influential musically this man was. How Paul McCartney got a song from him, like Mothers and Daughters or something like that. And then the other one, goddamn, I forget the name of the song. Right what I was about to say, but he created the opening riff for that because the artists would come to Jamaica in their studios to work with. Very influential man. Let on none of that shit. Let on none of that. He did not want that notoriety like that. Good dude. He made me laugh. But I also got to hear about how much of a spitfire my grandmother has always been. You'll hear me go back and forth between saying grandma and nana because she don't want to be called no grandma. It's got some different connotations for her. No, fuck that. But talking to my nana, I get why she's so different because she was never really raised around black folks. She said when she went to Jamaica in 75, 78, that was the most black folks she had ever seen. She thought she went to Negro heaven because growing up in Arizona in the 50s and whatnot, or the 40s and 50s, there's white folks, Latinos, and Native Americans, underlying black folks. And she would do shit because she was the only one. Still remembering when she smacked this boy in the side of his head and fucked up his hearing because he caught her drinking out of his water fountain. Called her some Sambo or some shit like that. She knocked the shit out that motherfucker and permanently altered his fucking hearing. I get to hear stories about her joining the marching band, and she was the only black person on the marching band. And why she did it was because marching band got to go everywhere. And she was in Catholic school, right? So if they got to a restaurant or whatnot where it's talking about, oh, that little black thing can't come in here, the priest would have to say, well, none of us will. So she ended up in places where there ain't no black folks. She was the only one. And I think that makes a little bit of a kinship outside of the blood relation with me and my grandmother because I have always been the only one in a lot of places. Me and BGS have talked about this before. It's like black men, black people who do things outside the box, think a little different, move a little different experiences. You're not coming out of necessarily the South with it. You end up in places where you are the only one, and how alienating that can be. But how you have to find your own strength in it. Peace, I'm listening. Rest easy, friends. But learning that my grandmother loved doing shit like that on purpose. some ways was a trailblazer because she was the first in a lot of areas. From where she came from and where she ended up in California. So it was an interesting conversation, to say the least. And I wanted to throw that out there just to say it's really important as Black people that we really do talk and listen to some of our elders. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think all of them is on the up and up. I don't. You have to be discerning in that regard. But the ones that piss you off probably got the realest information to tell you. And those are the ones you need to be talking to. If the truth is what you're really looking for. Because best believe what they've come up in, they are not going to sugarcoat shit. There will be no sugarcoating today. None. And I can appreciate that. If I wanted candy, I'd eat candy. I appreciate getting to know what the flavor of the bullshit is. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's 8. My day is not done yet, but it is well at hand. So let's see if this food is here. I found a killer. I got introduced to a killer Mediterranean food place. That shit is awesome. I had some of their food last week. I had these meatballs. I've been thinking about them motherfuckers since last week, so I'm gonna get in here and have some of them tonight. And I will say something that'll sound really fucked up, and it makes me laugh to say it, but I'm looking forward to having these meaty balls in my mouth. Pause. Not what you think, nigga. I'm salivating about having these balls in my mouth. Ah, shit. But that's it. I'm tired. I'm about to get delirious in a minute. So thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna go ahead in here and get this dinner in me. Yeah, that's it. You guys have a good night.